Tonight on CTV News at 6, with Air Canada pulling out,
Having a 50-minute flight to Toronto Island is certainly going to be a relief.
a new air service is coming to North Bay. What happened to the money? The town of Cochrane is short $2 million. And this baby has gone viral.
We go to choir practice together, and she loves it.
We'll introduce you to a child who is getting a lot of attention.
CTV News at 6 with Tony Ryma and Rick Wyman with weather.
Good evening. Thanks for being with us on this Thursday. A collision near Cochrane closed Highway 652 today after a chemical leak from a transport. OPP say a tractor trailer was involved in a serious collision causing chemicals to leak around 10 this morning. The highway was closed between Michelle Lake Road and Tweed Township, northwest of Cochrane. No injuries were reported. Police are working with the Ministry of the Environment to ensure the community safety. No word at this time what chemical was spilled. An update on the heavy police presence at the housing complex on Cambrian Village Road in Sudbury yesterday. Just before 9 a.m., 911 got a call where yelling was heard and one of the residents said there was a gun. Shortly after 2:30 p.m., two individuals exited and surrendered without incident. A search of the premises found no firearm. One person was released while the other was taken into custody, where officers discovered a previous assault on his intimate partner. Police have charged a 45-year-old man with assault with a weapon. OPP in Kapuskasing seized drugs, cash, and weapons from a residence yesterday. Police were investigating drug trafficking in the area and executed a search warrant on Stewart Street, where they found guns, cocaine, and cash. Police arrested a 42-year-old woman at the residence at the time of the search and arrested a 33-year-old man as part of the investigation. Some relief for travelers and officials at North Bay's Jack Garland Airport. A new air service is taking off from the airport early next year. CTV's Eric Tashner has more.
Soon, this empty slot at the Jack Garland Airport will have an aircraft parked in it, ready to fly to Toronto's Billy Bishop Airport.
Having a 50-minute flight to Toronto Island is certainly going to be a relief.
When Air Canada announced in September it was pulling all service out of North Bay, city officials were caught off guard. There was anger and frustration.
That was not a great announcement for our community, 90 years relationship.
We did a travel assessment in the summer to try and help Air Canada and other airlines like Bearskin and Perimeter meet the market demand.
Now there's a sense of relief. A new service is stepping in when Air Canada leaves at the end of January. Prop Air, based out of Rouyn-Noranda in northwestern Quebec, is going to fill that void.
It's the start of a great partnership between North Bay and Prop Air.
Flights will begin February 16th, and passengers can start booking tickets online. The route will operate 5 days a week.
Normally, an airline is starting a new route 3 to 6 months in advance. We decided to move quickly because we definitely think that North Bay people deserve to have this service.
The aircraft will seat up to 18 passengers. There will be a morning flight to Toronto and an evening return flight to North Bay, eliminating the need for overnight stays.
Our members and the business community were having to spend, sometimes $600-700 a night for a hotel room. So that's just another added expense for business that's not necessary.
The airline will also offer shuttle service between Billy Bishop and Toronto Pearson International Airport for travelers who need to connect to international flights.
If we have the population, the business on board of our project and working with us, we definitely think that quicker than we expect, we will need to add more frequency, more flight, and hopefully more destinations.
Prop Air recently announced new routes connecting Sudbury to Ottawa, Montreal, and Quebec City, which serve the same mission, improving air service to underserved Canadian regions. Eric Tashner, CTV News, North Bay.
Sudbury held its second annual menorah lighting at City Hall last night in a public display of faith and solidarity. It comes just days after the attack during a Hanukkah celebration in Australia, where 15 people were killed. CTV's Amanda Hicks reports.
Hanukkah is known as the Festival of Lights, a time meant for celebration and reflection. But in Sudbury, the flickering flames represented something more, a community standing guard against fear.
I grew up Jewish, and it's to show the solidarity, especially after the darkness of what happened in Australia.
I'm not Jewish, but I'm part of the community, and the Jewish community is hurting. We need to be here for them.
I'm here especially in this time because there is rising anti-Semitism, and it's time to show solidarity with the Jewish community.
Following Sunday's terrorist attack in Australia, security at City Hall was noticeably tighter for the second lighting of the menorah. But organizers say the goal wasn't to dwell on fear, but to celebrate survival.
There are only 15 million Jews in the whole world. And so typically when something very bad like this happens, people know other people on the other side of the world. It's not uncommon to have family connections or friend connections with communities that are geographically very far away because we're really such a small group. And so, certainly that touches us really profoundly and deeply, and we're very sad. But at the same time, we have to hold that we're also celebrating a holiday at the same time.
Ontario NDP leader Marit Stiles was on hand and called for more to be done to protect places of worship.
There is a rise in anti-Semitism, not just around the world, but here in our communities in Ontario. And nobody should be afraid of worshiping and celebrating their religion or their culture in our society. And so I think it's more important than ever that we are here with our Jewish friends and neighbors.
I'm being told that tonight's ceremony serves as a reminder that the answer to darkness isn't to hide, but to increase the light, whether that's through prayer or standing together. Amanda Hicks, CTV News, Sudbury.
Hundreds of mourners gathered at a funeral in Sydney today for a 10-year-old girl killed in Sunday's anti-Semitic terror attack. Matilda, whose parents arrived in Australia from Ukraine, was enjoying a petting zoo at the festivities Sunday. She had been attending the Hanukkah celebration with her parents, younger sister, and friends when she was wounded in the mass shooting. She was then rushed to hospital where doctors were unable to save her. In honor of Matilda's middle name, B, attendees wore bee stickers and brought bee-themed toys and balloons. Nipissing MPP Vic Fideli announced nearly $7 million in new funding for the North Bay Regional Health Centre. About $5 million is earmarked for operational costs, representing a 1.9% increase over last year. Also announced was $1.5 million for 7 new alternate level of care beds, which is in addition to $700,000 the hospital has already received for 15 ALC beds. In a written statement, the hospital welcomed the funding announcement, saying the alternate level of care beds would ultimately improve patient flow, but cautioned this funding does not change the need to make the difficult but necessary changes to our budget and operations announced in October. Officials also saying those changes are still required and that they would continue to work with the province to create a stable financial future for the hospital. Unions representing hospital staff are planning a rally outside Vic Fideli's office on Monday at 10 a.m., protesting staffing levels and patient care. There is a lot happening in the weather right now, a lot of moving parts. So let's bring in CTV's Rick Wyman to tell us about the mess we're going to experience.
Well, Tony, as I found out while getting a coffee earlier today, I guess I'm the bad guy. People were blaming me for the weather, asked me, why did you bring all this lousy weather to Northeastern Ontario? It just happens from time to time. Systems map, courtesy of Environment Canada. Take a look at the system that's moving through. More to the north, you've got snowstorms. More to the south, a lot of rain overnight. And the big transition, flash freezing by tomorrow. So again, weather is going to change in the next, 12, 24 hours or so. You'll get some snow, you'll get some rain. We'll take a look at some of those numbers, and some of the amounts will actually be startling, especially in the north with snowstorms, Moosonee, Wawa, Cochrane, Hearst, and of course, bridging on the Timmins area. So Tony, some details, but first, current temperatures coming up.
Thanks so much, Rick. Learning another language still to come on CTV News at 6. A school board is offering free French lessons to parents and guardians of students. And the city of Greater Sudbury is looking to improve the municipality's driver violation rate.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400 from your screen to ours. Text 10400.
The town of Cochrane is trying to find out what happened to $2 million in missing public and provincial funding. The money was meant for an agricultural silo project, a long-standing goal to boost the region's farming economy. The town says the financial discrepancies began back in 2021, and the money was spent under the watch of the town's previous CAO, financial department, and the former council. To put the $2 million loss in perspective, Mayor Peter Politis notes that just $90,000 represents a 1% tax hike in Cochrane. He says the OPP and legal counsel are now engaged in an investigation, adding that while the money has likely been spent, a forensic audit is the only path to potential recovery.
The good news is, if there isn't such a thing like this, is the money's being spent for the most part. Part of the funding that's been provided by a couple of the layers of government will need to be repaid. So that's something that would be a new impact. But for the most part, the money's been spent. So anything we recover at this point will have a positive impact on the budget.
The mayor declined to name specific individuals at this time, stating that no blame will be laid until the forensic audit is complete. Conseil scolaire catholique Nouvel-An, the French Catholic board serving families in Sudbury, Manitoulin, and Algoma, is offering free French courses for parents and guardians in the new year. CTV's Lindsay Alick reports.
For over 2 decades, Conseil scolaire catholique Nouvel-An has offered French language programs to Anglophone and Allophone parents.
Throughout the years, parents were saying, we just want to learn more conversational French. And so listening to them, and we want to always support our parents for the success of their children. This is why we partnered up with Collège Boréal, who are specialists in this.
Heidi McLaren, a parent from Wawa, has 2 daughters who have attended schools in the board and says for her, not being able to speak French has been a challenge.
I have been in the customer service industry for many, many years, actually most of my adult tenure, which has been difficult because we, in Northern Ontario, there are a lot of communities as well as people within our community that speak French and only French. So it's something that I wanted to give my children the opportunity to speak French.
Her youngest was in kindergarten during COVID and unfortunately missed a lot of the fundamentals. So she said she knew she had to get on board with learning the language.
It's been a real gift, I think, particularly because you know, it was free. It was just the school board wanting to help Anglophone parents and or parents that speak another language outside of French. So I would encourage, if I can do it, you know, anybody can do it.
Over 3,000 students in the board say their first language is French, compared to 1,977 who say it is English.
In listening to what they're asking us, they want to learn, they want to be there for their children, they want to understand, they want to participate.
The programs will once again be offered online by Boreal beginning January 14th and 15th, continuing once a week for a 15-week period. Chartrand Aziz says the hope is to continue offering the programs and potentially expand offerings someday. Lindsay Alick, CTV News, Sudbury.
After a warning from the province this past spring, the city of Greater Sudbury is making some changes to improve the municipality's driver violation rate. More now from CTV's Angela Gemmel.
With 320 commercial vehicles in the city's fleet, driven by 450 licensed operators, it's imperative the city keep in good standings, with the provincial agency keeping track of its violations.
We want to make sure that violation rate is reduced because it speaks to an overall safe fleet.
Last April, the city of Greater Sudbury got a warning letter from the Ministry of Transportation that its commercial vehicle operator registration, or CVOR rating, had risen to 35%. Any operator or corporation with commercial motor vehicles must have a valid CVOR certificate. It's a provincial program that monitors operators' safety records based on factors like infractions, collisions, and inspections. The city's Director of Transit Services says since the spring, it's added more remedial and proactive training to bring that rating down to 30%.
So we've seen improvement already this year, and that's evidence of our safety culture and the support through our driver training program. And really those that do the job.
Adair says the rating doesn't pinpoint any specific municipal vehicles that are more frequent violators.
We don't have information in terms of like a problem area. That's not the case. It was cumulative across the entire fleet.
The recent effort to reduce the violation rating led to the city approving $134,000 for an additional driver certification instructor.
Providing proactive training or reactive training. If there's any level of infraction or collision that we see, the driver training division provides safe driving tips and training.
Adair says the goal for 2026 is to reduce the city's CVOR rating even further. According to the MTO, any carrier's current safety rating can be viewed for free using its online search tool. Angela Gamble, CTV News, Sudbury.
FedNor announced funding in Timiskaming Shores today with hopes of bolstering economic growth. $5 million was handed out for 6 community and business growth initiatives. Among the projects to get a boost were the city's Mining Showcase Pavilion, which will be traveling next year to the PDAC Convention in Toronto, and the Canadian Institute of Mining Convention in Vancouver. Those 2 events alone support and promote nearly 150 businesses. The funding will also support the city's South Timiskaming Community Futures Development Corporation, which provides business counseling and investment services. Ontario NDP leader Mart Stiles was in Sault Ste. Marie today visiting workers at Algoma Steel. Last night, she voiced her frustration regarding the government's handling of the laid-off steelworkers.
1,000 of those workers, almost half the workforce, have lost their jobs. And so I'm going to be there talking to them about what action we need to take. We haven't seen any solutions come forward from the government. They seem to be approaching this as if it's just a necessary expense of doing business, and I won't accept that. And I don't think the workers will either.
A spokesperson for Minister Vic Fedeli responded with a written statement saying the province continues work closely with Algoma to expand and grow both international and domestic opportunities. At the same time, we are ensuring the supports are there for impacted workers through local power centers to help get people back to work as quickly as possible. And back now for a check on your current conditions. Here's Rick.
Big change from last night, Tony. Of course, it all involves what's happening in the Northeast with rain, with snow, and the big transition to more snow for tomorrow after a night of rain. Our forecast radar, you can see now the snow will be in the north and the rain to the south, and then they'll collide. Then we go back to more snow, as you can see, continuing into the weekend. Let's take a look at some of the current temperatures now. As I said, big change from last night. Eventually, possibly. Here we go. Okay. We'll get to the current temperatures and a lot more. Don't forget, we have a 7-day forecast, and sometimes things happen, technically speaking. So again, we'll be back with the 7-day forecast and a lot more. We're just having fun, so let's blame it on the weather. Tony, back to you.
Thanks for that, Rick. Memorandum of Understanding next on CTV News at 6. The Prime Minister and Ontario's Premier sign a deal to cut red tape for major projects. And this Cape Breton fiddler was forced to cancel a concert after AI falsely identified him. The Premier of Ontario and the Prime Minister met in the nation's capital to streamline critical development in the Ring of Fire. But Doug Ford also took this opportunity to double down on his decision to run anti-tariff ads in the U.S. CTV's Siobhan Morris has that story.
Ford, what do you make of? It's a cooperation deal between the federal and provincial governments to stop doubling up on environmental assessments.
This agreement will speed up project approval timelines by introducing a new one project, one review approach.
The Premier excited about what it means for plans to build roads to link to the mineral-rich Ring of Fire. Ontario has signed agreements with 3 First Nations doing their own studies in recent months.
Today's agreement is the last step in our plan to get shovels in the ground this June.
The leaders agree building more faster is critical with ongoing economic and trade pressures with the U.S. Talks were derailed this fall when U.S. President Trump took exception to Ontario's anti-tariff ad featuring the voice of Ronald Reagan.
America's jobs and growth are at stake.
An ad the Premier defended in front of the Prime Minister for the first time.
Number one, that was the best ad that's ever been run. 12.4 billion views. We wanted to bring it to the attention of the American people.
Prime Minister Carney kind of made a face when you said it was the greatest ad ever.
It was.
Doug Ford remains unrepentant for the ad and the pause in talks.
He's attacking our steel industry, attacking our automotive sector, attacking our manufacturing, our pharmaceutical, our life sciences. I'm not going to sit back and roll over.
This comes as the next phase of trade negotiations starts to take shape, with a sense that sectoral tariffs are here to stay, in the medium term at least.
My judgment is that that is now going to roll into the broader CUSMA negotiations. So we're unlikely, given the time horizons coming together, to have a sectoral agreement.
Americans want more access to Canada's dairy market and to nix the Online Streaming Act, which forces big U.S. companies like Netflix to abide by Canadian broadcasting rules, and to put U.S. booze back on the shelves of Canadian liquor stores.
When the Prime Minister and President Trump come up with a great deal for both countries, we'd be more than happy to bring in some maybe Kentucky bourbon.
But in Ontario anyway, not a moment sooner. Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
Prime Minister Mark Carney said he spoke with U.S. President Trump and Mexican President Sheinbaum ahead of the renegotiating of the current North American Free Trade Agreement, or CUSMA.
The President and I had a long conversation with President Sheinbaum about this a little under 2 weeks ago, which set out the broad parameters for the review of CUSMA. We'll work closely together with the Government of Ontario, other provinces that are affected by potential adjustments there. And we will always pursue an agreement that is in the interest of Canadian workers, Canadian families.
In a statement to Congress, the Trump administration's top trade representative says Canada has to address concerns over market access for U.S. dairy products and address Canada's exports of its dairy products. To Brussels now, where Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is attending a high-stakes EU summit. On the agenda, whether to use tens of billions of euros in frozen Russian assets to support Ukraine in the war with Russia.
Це не значить, що це закінчення. Тоді це якась пауза, і коли вирішить Росія.
Zelensky this morning saying he believes an end to the war would be connected with security guarantees for Ukraine. Under the EU proposal, frozen Russian assets would underwrite a loan to meet Ukraine's military and financial needs over the next 2 years. Belgium fears Russia will retaliate if the plan is approved and prefers that the bloc borrow the money on international markets. And there's more news still ahead, but first, here's your full weather forecast with Rick.
Tony, fingers crossed we get through this technology here this evening. Forecast radar. We've got lots of snow to the north and rain to the south. We'll get into some of the numbers coming up very shortly. So again, that system will give way to more snow during the day tomorrow. It will get colder just in time for Friday evening, heading into Saturday and into Sunday. This is what you can expect by about supper time on Saturday evening. Now, some of those numbers overnight: 15 to 25 millimeters of rain in Greater Sudbury, Sault Ste. Marie, rain snow in Timmins, Temiskaming Shores, 10 to 15 millimeters of rain, 10 to 15 in North Bay as well. Moving on over to Moosonee, we're talking snow here, 10 to 20 centimeters, Caphurst, 15 to 25 centimeters, Wawa 10 to 15 centimeters. Back to the rain, Gore Bay 10 to 15 millimeters, and Perry Sound 10 to 15 millimeters. 7-day numbers now. Sudbury Nickel Belt, snow tomorrow 2 to 4 centimeters, -4. Chance of snow on Saturday and Sunday. Some cloud cover Monday, -12. Chance of snow on Tuesday at -2. The clouds roll in Wednesday at -7. How about Sault Ste. Marie Algoma? Snow tomorrow, 2 to 4 centimeters, -9 your expected high. Some snow on Saturday, -3. Sunday, chance of flurries, chance of snow on Monday, the chance of flurries on Tuesday at 0. So we go from cold to warm, a medium temperature, or at least a variation of temperatures. Then we get warmer, 0 by Tuesday, then -1 and +1. So the temperatures will be all over the road next week, Christmas week. Timmins Cochrane campus facing snow tomorrow, 5 to 10 centimeters. -8 your expected high. Chance of snow Saturday and Sunday, -9, -12. A bright spot in the forecast. Monday, -12, sun and cloud. Chance of snow at 60%, -6 your high Tuesday. And Wednesday, Christmas Eve, -10 with the cloud cover. In Temiskaming Shores and Kirkland Lake, rain-snow mix tomorrow, 5 centimeters with a high of -1. Some snow on Saturday at -8. Chance of snow on Sunday. Chance of snow on Monday. Here we go. Your temperatures -9, -12. And Tuesday, chance of snow, 60%, -4. Wednesday, again, Christmas Eve, -10 with the cloud cover. Normally at this time of the year, you should be sitting at -8. So just looking at the temperature board right across northeastern Ontario, you can see the variation in some of the temperatures and a lot more. Now, for those of you big weather fans in North Bay and West Nipissing, here we go. Snow tomorrow, 2 to 4 centimeters at -3. Chance of snow on Saturday and Sunday, -5, -8. Beautiful day Monday. Check out the sunshine, -11 your expected high on the cool side. Tuesday, warming up, chance of snow at -2. And Christmas Eve, we've got sun and cloud, -8. So that forecast varies somewhat from what we see across the Northeast. Normally, you should be sitting at around -6 degrees. Let's have a look now at our pick of the day. I wanted to show you this. Thank you, Bruce Lee. Just to give you a variation, it's been a drab day in Northeastern Ontario, but Topsail Island, Bellevue Park, Sault Ste. Marie, this is what Bruce had to offer. And it's a beautiful day. Of course, we didn't get one today, but here's hoping we will in the future. 4-month-old from Temiskaming Shores is a viral sensation. Our own Madison Marier has that story coming up a little bit later on after the break.
Don't believe everything you see on the internet. That's what Cape Breton fiddler Ashley McIsaac warns after an AI search confused him with a sex offender with a similar name. CTV's Vanessa Wright reports.
Ashley McIsaac is well known to Maritimers. The renowned fiddler from Nova Scotia has been a popular musician for 30 years. He was set to perform a concert this Friday night, but was forced to cancel.
The chief messaged back and said, "We can't have you in our community due to your past criminal convictions." And I thought, what are they talking about? I got arrested once for smoking marijuana.
The offenses they were referring to are much more serious, including internet luring and sexual assault. An apparent Google search using AI that has now been corrected recently described the popular fiddler as a criminal sex offender. But it's not this McIsaac.
I'm in a situation now where AI has decided to link somebody else's criminal offenses to my name. And it's a very scary situation where if I had gone to a border, I probably would have been still in jail.
The sex offender was actually another man with the last name McIsaac. Cyber experts say these incidents are known as AI confabulations.
Anybody that shares a name with anyone could be a victim of this kind of AI confabulation, where it takes information and combines it together. And this is a great example of how dumb AI actually is.
The situation highlights concerns about AI technology.
This is one case, but there are now lawsuits in the United States where we have people who actually died, committed self-harm because of this.
McIsaac says the mistaken identity search spread quickly. Now he's fighting for his reputation and livelihood.
I've already had gigs canceled. I don't know how many have not followed through because of it. It's completely false. It's completely wrong. And I'm not sure where it's going to lead as far as my work and my personal security.
Shipley says government should revise defamation laws to protect people from AI mishaps like this one.
But he'll never get back the sleepless nights, the emotional trauma. There will be people who will never not believe this because they've now seen it on the internet.
Vanessa Wright, CTV News.
Police in North Bay ran a two-day enforcement blitz focusing on Ontario's move over law and speeding. Over the 2 days, police laid 3 charges for failing to move over or slow down for stopped emergency vehicles. Failing to give space or slow down comes with a fine of between $500 and $2,000, along with 3 demerit points. Police also caught 10 speeders and 4 prohibited drivers. The town of Kirkland Lake launched a new alert system yesterday in the event of an emergency.
You are only a few clicks away from receiving enriched and personalized communications.
Dubbed KL Alert, it will use a special platform to provide information on such emergencies as severe weather, road closures, and public health notifications. The system will send real-time alerts directly to your phone, email, or through voice messages. It is free to use, but residents will have to subscribe to the service. A trio of siblings paid a special visit to a Scarborough hospital this holiday season to thank the healthcare workers who cared for them as infants. CTV's Pauline Chan has more on the special reunion.
A special surprise for Nurse Shanti Saw.
From the moment that I came in, there was just this warmth about her that just really, drew me to her, and she was just so helpful and compassionate, and anytime I needed anything or had questions.
We don't get triplets that often, and when they came, right away, me and Mom bonded, and I was like, oh my God, there's 2 girls and the boy, and we're like, the boy's gonna be so spoiled. And I remember the older brother coming and being so involved, and just watching them grow was amazing.
Mom Nadine Farron recalls first being told she was carrying triplets.
Honestly, I had no words. I started laughing because I was like, this is the funniest thing I've ever heard.
Zion, Ziana, and Zyla were born July 7th, 2020 at another hospital before being transferred to Centenary.
Now, during COVID, only one parent was allowed in at a time, but because there were 3 babies, both parents were able to come in together.
They stayed 2 months at the neonatal intensive care unit before the babies were big enough to go home. This was their first time back at the actual NICU since they were born, and staff were delighted to give them stuffed toys and show them the incubator in the actual space where they stayed.
So here at SHN, we have about 6,500 births. For the NICU, we have about 750 babies who come to our NICU.
I think it's really a testament to the work that they do here in the NICU.
Surprisingly, triplets do come up a few times a year. They've even had quadruplets. And Nadine has some words of encouragement for new parents, especially those with multiple babies.
It's okay to be scared. It's okay to feel overwhelmed. Really and truly just take it moment by moment and celebrate the small wins. Happy holidays!
Pauline Chan, CTV News.
A 4-month-old baby from Timmins Shores has become an internet sensation after appearing to sing along with her mother at choir practice. CTV's Madison Merrier has their story.
Bernard Lafontaine posted a video for friends and family, and over 6 million views later, she's getting calls from around the world.
Sweden, Italy, there's liaisons from the USA that are working with People Magazine and USA Today. And Brazil has been really, really big because Senna is named after Ayrton Senna.
Little Senna appears to be singing along as the choir performs, and her mother is not surprised as music is a big part of her family's life.
Both my husband and I are very musically inclined, and so are her grandparents and her great-grandparents. So I think probably just from the womb, always hearing music and just being the happy baby that she is, I think music will run in her blood.
Lafontaine said she posted a video of the choir's performance as a preview to their big show.
We go to choir practice together, and she loves it. We bring her little play mat, and she'll just be babbling and cooing. And yeah, she loves choir.
She only noticed Senna cooing after the song was finished, and when Lafontaine watched the video, she thought it was a great reflection of her happy baby.
The video that you're seeing is just literally how she is on a day-to-day basis. We're blessed with a very happy baby.
Lafontaine hopes the video brings people some Christmas cheer and inspires new parents to continue going out and doing the things they love.
I hope that this inspires also some parents that are on maternity leave or that are home with their child to just go out there and do things, and that the community does support bringing your child and not to be afraid and stay home.
Madison Marier, CTV News, Sudbury.
What a great story there. It's been happening for almost 4 decades. Still ahead on CTV News at 6. All Nations Church in Sudbury is once again hosting the Living Nativity at Science North.
Clothing provided by Laura, Melanie Lynn.
It's been a tradition in Sudbury for almost 40 years. We are just days away from the Living Nativity at Science North. And to tell us more, let's bring in Pastor Sean Morton. Pastor Sean, so nice to see you again, sir.
Yeah, it's good to see you too.
So tell us about what happens at the Living Nativity for those people who may not know.
Yeah, it's a recreation of the original Christmas story from the Bible. And we have, when I say recreation, we use actors, live animals, and to portray all the characters from the original Christmas story. Jesus, the baby, Mary and Joseph, angels, and so yeah, it's a lot of fun.
When you said the baby, you also swap out babies, like every night has a different child, is that right?
That's right, yeah. And actually, most of the actors are all swapped out every night. There's quite a number of people that volunteer to be part of this. In fact, we've been doing it for so long that the actors that have played baby Jesus have now played Joseph as well, and some of the angels as well, just as recently as last year. So,
how do you coordinate, or your team, the team of volunteers, coordinate everything when you're dealing with babies and live animals?
Yeah, it could be a little much, and then weather dependent too, right? So you've got to deal with all of those things all the time. And so we have a list of people that want to be part of this and really excited about it. And then if there's anything hiccups that kind of happen, we do have backups as well, just to make sure that the show must go on. I mean, we've been doing this for 38 years, and I believe that it has only ever stopped one time, and it was an absolute blizzard. I mean, you couldn't even move in the city at all. We do this thing, rain or snowing or whatever, we put it on. And so, yeah, it's exciting.
Why do you think the Living Nativity still has legs? Why do people still come out? Because crowds seem to be growing and growing.
Yeah, boy, that is a great question. Why? Why do we love Christmas, right? And I think, you know, the story of Jesus reminds us about the greatest gift that's ever been given in God sending his son to us. And so as we remember that, every Christmas time, that same message of hope still resonates in people. We all need a little hope, especially in our world these days. And so I think that's really what the enduring appeal is of the Living Nativity.
And the Living Nativity is really a community coming together. Do you find, obviously Christians would go, but do you find non-Christians also attending just to experience community or to experience this for the first time?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, those that are even exploring what Jesus is about, what he had to say, they've come and joined us. We've had people that, have been in this production many years as part of their own Christmas tradition that don't have a faith background at all. And like we were just talking, I think it's just because it's the message of hope. It's a tradition, and tradition is important to humanity, and so I think that part of it scratches that itch, I guess, for some people as well.
Well, thanks for giving people hope and still hosting the Living Nativity. Yeah. Pastor Sean, so nice to see you again. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, and just a reminder, it's 7:30, the 21st to the 24th, and there's that fireworks display that we put on Christmas Eve, and so it's something nobody wants to miss.
No, absolutely not. That was Pastor Sean Morton. He was our guest, and to learn more about the Living Nativity, head to allnationschurch.ca. And Christmas has come early for ski lovers in Algoma. Mount Dufour is opening this Saturday in Elliott Lake. Officials plan to stay open through until January 4th, with the exception of Christmas Day. In sports now, Sioux Greyhounds forward Brady Martin showing courage last night in World Junior pre-tournament action.
Turn pass from Hayes is knocked away, and here's McKenna. Gavin McKenna works back in, sends a required hard shot.
Courage by the Tragically Hip, Canada's goal song for the tournament, would play twice thanks to Martin. He scored both goals in Team Canada's 2-1 victory over Sweden. Not surprisingly, Martin has made the official roster for Team Canada. Meanwhile, the Sioux Greyhounds were celebrating their own victory.
Back for Fitzgerald. Steps to the middle and into the offensive zone with a good amount of speed. He scores!
Colin Fitzgerald rifling one over the glove hand of the Spirit goalie to find the back of the net, making it 2-1 in the dying minutes of the first period. The Hounds didn't stop there, breaking Saginaw Spirit 8-4 by the end of the game. Tonight, the Hounds will continue their southern road swing in Windsor, where they'll face off against the Spitfires at 7:05. The Sudbury Wolves are also on the road. They'll take on the Barrie Colts at 7 p.m. The North Bay Battalion are hosting the Guelph Storm at 7 p.m. at Bort Longyear Memorial Gardens. Last night was a wild one for fans over in the NOJHL, where the Sudbury Cubs played host to the Powassan Voodoos. Sudbury Cub Caden Dubré netted 2 goals and an assist, but the Voodoos would take this one 4-3 in overtime. Tonight, the Cubs host the French River Rapids at 7:10, which is the only game on deck for the Junior A League. From a pineapple under the sea to the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Douglas Hyde has that and more in tonight's Hollywood Report.
And the award for most surprising move in Hollywood goes to the Oscars. YouTube just struck a stunning multi-year deal with the Motion Picture Academy to carry the ceremony. YouTube will take over the rights from ABC beginning in 2029. The Academy said the new partnership will allow them to expand the global reach of the Oscars.
I guess I'll come back next week and say goodbye.
I'm sure they'd appreciate that.
Buck Rogers star Gil Gerard has died of cancer at the age of 82. The actor was most famous for playing the sci-fi hero on TV from 1979 to 1981. Before he died, Gerard left a goodbye message for fans, which said in part, "Don't waste your time on anything that doesn't thrill you or bring you love. See you out somewhere in the cosmos."
Good morning, Krusty Crew, or should I say, are you ready, kids?
SpongeBob SquarePants has cemented his legacy. The beloved animated character put his hands and feet in the concrete forecourt of Hollywood's famed Chinese theater. The voice of SpongeBob, Tom Kenny, was there as well to soak up the glory. In Hollywood, I'm Douglas Hyde.
U.S. inflation data was released, and the numbers surprised economists. BNN Bloomberg's Marella Fernandez has more.
Inflation in the U.S. cooled last month, the annual rate coming in at 2.7%. Economists had expected it to be 3.1%. October inflation data wasn't released during the government shutdown, making it hard to determine if inflation in the U.S. is trending down. Still, investors like the news, sending the markets higher today. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar ended the day up at 72.60. West Texas Intermediate up to 56.07. Western Canadian Select up as well to 42.66. And the TSX moved up 190 points to end the day at 31,440. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marella Fernandez.
Here are the current prices for some key commodities we watch. Gold down $5.26, closing the day at $43.32.94 US an ounce. Silver dropped 71 cents, copper fell 2 cents, and nickel is up 7 cents, ending the day at $6.53 US a pound. And Rick is back now for one last look at your Friday weather.
Wet weather tonight, snowy weather in some cases in northeastern Ontario, and a look at tomorrow's forecast. -4, few centimeters of snow. Sudbury, Nickel Belt, and Timmins, snow heavy at times, 5 to 10 centimeters, -8. Sault Ste. Marie, 2 to 4 centimeters, -9 in the forecast. In North Bay for tomorrow, 2 to 4 centimeters, -3. Parry Sound, 5 centimeters of snow, -1 in the forecast, and -1 in Temiskaming Shores, again 5 centimeters. So rain overnight and the big transition tomorrow, colder weather and some snow. Tony?
Thanks for that, Rick. Earlier this month, the CTV Lions Children's Christmas Telethon in Sudbury raised more than $357,000, surpassing its goal of $325,000. Officials with the Lions Club say the request for toys this year has increased. In previous years, 50 to 55 toys were purchased per every age range. However, due to the demand, this year the Lions had to buy 85 to 90 toys for every age group. The chair of the Telethon says the Lions Club should be able to cover the cost of the additional toys only if everyone honors their pledge.
We had to order twice to fill up the gap, to provide those families with the Christmas gift and to have a smile on their faces at Christmas time. That's why we're asking for those who pledge, please honor your pledge and make it happy for everybody.
Khoury says that next year the Lions Club will need to buy more toys, which will likely make the goal even higher to cover the additional expenses. It's so important to honor those pledges and to help you remember the night you made that donation. We leave you with another great performance from the Telethon. Here's Leo Frappier. Thanks for watching. Good night.
Don't look so sad. I know it's over, but life goes on in this old world. We'll keep on turning. Let's just be glad we had some time to spend together. There's no need to watch the bridges that were burning. Lay your head upon my pillow. Hold your warm and tender body close to mine. Hear the whisper